Hello and welcome to Weird Around Illinois. Today we are going to take a moment to brag about a successful expedition. Now this isn't your normal expedition. We did find Bigfoot, but it wasn't what you think. It was the Bigfoot that we were supposed to find as part of a radio contest. Let's get weird. Alright, so you may have heard in our podcast last year, the local radio station to Chicago, Rock 95.5, they have a host named Klinger who is really into Bigfoot. So he started a contest where he was hiding this Bigfoot at various locations in Chicagoland, and every week he would give clues on where to find it. And the idea was if you find the Bigfoot, you win some money and get a chance for a drawing to win a trip to Alaska to look for the real Bigfoot. Of course, when we heard about this contest, we were all over it. It was just perfect for us. And last year, we tried every single week, and we kept getting closer and closer and closer. It ended in frustration the final week when I still say the guy who won it found it by following us.
Yeah.
It was very sad. It was heartbreaking, and we were really happy when Klinger started the contest again this year, but it led to more heartache. The first few weeks, we kept getting closer and closer and closer, and then last week we found ourselves in the parking lot with like 30 other people racing around trying to find the Bigfoot, and we weren't one of the lucky ones who found it.
Yeah, at that point we were kind of feeling a bit hopeless.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the week before that, we went to Indiana, and if that doesn't make you feel hopeless, I don't know what will.
Yeah, Indiana sucks.
Yeah. So
I think it's worth mentioning the Bigfoot hunt from last year. That was 4 weeks. This one is 6 weeks. So
True.
we have longer.
Yeah. So what was this week's? Was this week 4 or week? I think it may have been week 5.
Yeah, week 5.
Yeah,
Like week 5. So week 5, we finally did it. Unfortunately, it wasn't the full team. One of us was unavailable, and it kind of messed with our dynamics a little bit, because the way we usually do this is I'm usually driving, I usually have a navigator who's going to help me find the place, and I've usually got a researcher who's going to look up like all the parks and forest preserves and everything else in the area, and they both do a little bit of that, but it's just nice having 2 people to kind of divide that labor so that I can drive and not have to think about it. But alas, it was just 2 of us this time, and so my faithful sidekick here had to be both navigator and researcher.
Yeah, it's not easy because there's so many parks and everything around.
Yeah.
I gotta just be on my game.
Yep.
Yeah, you guys were suffering as much as me, to be honest. Driving downtown Arlington Heights, and I was not enjoying myself.
Yeah, I guess all things being equal, you'd have probably rather been with us.
Yeah.
I'm sorry you had to be with the Indiana trip.
Yeah,
Sad to be on that one.
Yeah.
You got to go to Indiana. You got to go to like the west side of Chicago. You've been on some doozies.
That Indiana one was so painful though.
It was.
Yeah.
It was.
It's like over an hour drive and
then an hour drive back as well.
Yeah.
and we're 4 minutes away.
Yep.
And someone found the Bigfoot exactly in the park that we were predicting it being.
Yeah. It was rough.
We were 4, actually maybe 7 minutes away from it.
It was 4 minutes. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember I screenshotted it somewhere, but I got Google Maps.
This one, we just kept going further and further north. Klinger was given clues north, and more north, even though his initial clue was that it was northwest, and that's probably what we should have listened to, because we ended up going east, then north, then west.
Yeah.
So we were kind of we were a little behind the 8 ball there, and we were running out of time, and we kept, every time we would pick a place, he would give another clue, and we're like, nope, we're not far west enough yet.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to go further.
Well, we were really nervous like when we got on 94 because the traffic was so bad because there was like an accident there.
There's an accident there every single time we're on one of these Bigfoot hunts.
Yeah. There's accidents everywhere.
Yeah. We narrow it down to a couple of places, and as we're cruising along, I'm like, okay, this looks like one of the places you named, and I don't think we're gonna have time to get to the next place you named, so let's just duck in here.
Well, the place that I named it actually led like right there. It was
Oh,
just past that entrance basically.
Oh, okay.
And remember I mentioned like let's go to the first place we find before that.
Yeah.
And that's what it was. So
Yeah, it was Chain of Lakes State Park, which was, up north by Antioch, very close to the Wisconsin border. We turn in, and I'm thinking this is just our last desperation try because we were really out of time. We had to get back on the road toward home. And as we pull in, I hear you say, yep, this is it, or something along those lines.
yeah, I was like, this is it, because I see a car that's basically like a radio station car.
Yeah, it was. I didn't register it at first while you were saying that. I thought you just had like a gut feeling or something. But then I look ahead and I'm, oh, that's the one we saw last week at the other place. And so that's when we knew we were in the right place. And unlike the week before, there weren't 30 people running around searching for the Bigfoot. There were only like 3 or 4. We figured we had a fighting chance, and we split up. Got our radios out so we could communicate with each other, and
Oh yeah, that was on the picture. I noticed that.
yeah, the radio station person was really excited about that. They were like, you guys are so professional. You've got radios. I didn't want to lose each other looking for the Bigfoot, so we're searching, and I probably overdid it because I went out crawling through the weeds and walking along fences, and I went probably further than any radio station person would ever go.
Yeah, I remember on the last hunt, the one that we got completely lost on. You went everywhere across that forest that was next to it.
Well-
You went so far down. I was texting you back like, there's nobody's gonna go that far and stick to the bit like that.
Yeah, me and you were like, I sure hope he comes back.
Don't fall in the water.
Yeah.
Well, I just thought maybe they had like some Rambo radio promotions person who just like, they're gonna work for this Bigfoot. But all I found out there were ticks. When it was all said and done, I got 3 of them, including one that was on my neck, which was really enjoyable. But yeah, so I hiked through all that and kept radioing you, asking if anybody found it yet or if you'd found it yet, and you kept saying no. And I was like, that's really weird. And so I come back and I walk by the ranger station, and I'm just kind of strolling along. The lady at the ranger station gives me this weird smile, and I'm thinking, well, it's got to be around here then. And so I'm walking by and I see what looks like an imprint in the concrete that looks like a footprint.
Ooh.
And I was thinking, it didn't even register at first. I was like, okay, this is just, decoration. And I'm like, wait, that's what I'm looking for. I stop and pick it up, and the lady comes charging out of the radio van, and we found out we were winners.
Oh, cool. It's like, big footprint. Forget it. Oh, wait.
Yeah.
Oh, crap.
Yeah. It was just weird. The angle I was looking at, it looked more like an indentation than something actually laying on top of the ground.
Yeah, it did look pretty flat.
Yeah.
When I was looking around, I was so worried I was just going to miss it because there's so much land to cover.
Yeah.
I was worried I was going to look at a rock or something and say, oh, that's just a rock.
Yeah.
It's a feed in the foot.
So was it right next to the car? Or the
No,
station?
yeah, right next to the station.
Oh.
It was literally like up against the edge of the ranger station.
Huh.
So we found it, and what that means is basically we got a little bit of money, and we got a chance to win a trip to Alaska. Probably best of all, though, was getting to talk to Klinger.
Yeah.
It's funny because we had kind of had a love-hate relationship with him up until then.
Yes.
It was like, we'd be hanging on his every word when he was giving the clues, and then the minute somebody else found the Bigfoot, we never wanted to hear his voice again as long as we lived. It's really kind of rough. But when we talked to him, we got to talk to him on the phone after we found the Bigfoot, and he was legit. I mean, he was really interested in Bigfoot himself and cryptids. And when we were mentioning how we actually look for Bigfoot, he said, hey, come on our show anytime. I'll be happy to come on your podcast. Let's talk about Bigfoot. Let's talk about the different species of Bigfoot. Let's talk about, anything you want to talk about with Bigfoot. And you could just hear the passion in his voice. He was really excited. I think we might have been the first people who actually knew and were interested in Bigfoot who found the Bigfoot.
Yeah, I believe it. Yeah.
Yeah. So
I can't wait to see if I could find that file or wherever that may be, where I could re-listen to the radio.
Yeah.
I couldn't find it for the life of me. I tried, but
yeah, and of course, by the time we got back to the car after doing all the interviews and giving all the promotional information and everything, the radio part was over, so we never got to hear it.
yeah, I regret not remembering it sooner. But
Yeah.
for all I know, it may have been too late anyway.
Yeah. They also recorded a video. I mean, not the Klinger part, but with the radio promotions person, who was really nice, by the way.
Yeah.
She was really friendly. I guess in radio promotions you have to be, but I pictured like some grumpy dude sitting in a van for 3 hours hating life.
It took a while.
Here's your prize. I hate my life. But
Here's a phone call number. I don't care.
yeah. But no, it was quite a different experience. She was excited as excited as we were. It was very nice.
I do remember in the phone call we had with Klinger, he mentioned it sure looks like a ranger station, doesn't it? You're
Yeah.
like, yeah, it does. Later on, I eventually looked on the website, the 95.5 website, and I saw like 2 extra clues. One of them mentioned a ranger station.
Ah, okay.
I didn't hear that at all on the radio station. I had it like on my phone, and I didn't hear it at all. Maybe it was only posted on the website. I don't know, but
Or maybe he never posted it at all. Maybe it went up after the thing was already found. Maybe it was just a timed release or something.
maybe. Usually I don't see them after, though.
Yeah. Well, I didn't hear that clue. I just happened to, through pure dumb luck, be walking by the ranger station when I found it. But, I will say that, the reason we found it is because our methodology was good. The fact that we were in the hunt so many times last year proved that, we were doing something right. And this year, basically, with one exception, I think we were within a few miles of it every time it was found. And at least one time we were within, eyesight of it when it was found. And I think that speaks well to our real cryptid hunts. Looking for Dogman, looking for Bigfoot. I mean, we apply some of the same methodology. I mean, we go through all the evidence, all the reports. We search for, public access places near there, like forest preserves and parks, and try to get ourselves as close to where the action is as possible, and then just be ready to adjust on the fly when we get there if circumstances are different than what we expect.
Yeah.
So far, it's it served well in the contest. Hopefully, it'll serve well in our cryptid hunts as well. Well, thank you for letting us kind of brag a little bit on this, and obviously we're tremendously excited about it, and we're hoping we win the trip to Alaska so that we can tell you all about our hunt for the Alaskan hairy man, which is like a bigger, hairier, nastier Bigfoot. But
You wouldn't want to go over there and just get ripped apart.
no. Well, we'll try to keep the phones recording anyway when we do, so at least you can play it live for all of our listeners.
Yeah.
As always, thank you for listening, thank you for subscribing, and thank you for indulging us in this little victory lap.